Hello, I'm Shauna Lawhorn with the League of Women Voters of San Francisco. Along with the League and SFGovTV, I'm here to discuss Proposition E, a ballot measure that will be before the voters on Tuesday, November 8th. Currently, under city law, various city boards, commissions, and officials generally must review and make decisions to approve or deny the development of new housing. Development of new housing must comply with the city's planning and building codes. State law generally requires the project to be evaluated for impacts on the environment. The city has affordable housing programs that offer housing for sale or rent at below market rates. Affordable housing has restrictions on eligibility for households, such as maximum household income. Proposition E would streamline the approval process by exempting 3 types of multifamily affordable housing developments from a number of approvals by the city if those developments comply with the planning and building codes. When the city leases its property or provides financing for these housing projects, approval by the Board of Supervisors may be necessary. Under the measure, the city would have 6 months to approve these developments, in addition to the time required for any Board of Supervisors approvals, if necessary. This measure may also allow these developments to proceed without environmental review under state law. This measure requires the mayor to provide annual affordable housing reports with the mayor's proposed budget. Under this proposition, the Board of Supervisors could not amend city law to apply these streamlined approvals to additional types of housing projects. Contractors who build projects under this measure must pay their employees prevailing wages. Contractors who build projects for educators or projects of 25 units or more that provide additional affordable housing units must also use a skilled and trained workforce that includes a certain percentage of workers who have graduated from apprenticeship programs. If Proposition E passes with more votes than Proposition D, then Proposition D would have no legal effect. If you vote yes, you want to streamline approval of affordable housing projects that provide multifamily housing where all units are for households with income up to 120% of area median income, and the average household income for all residential units can be no more than 80% of area median income. Additional on-site affordable units equal to 8% of the total number of units in the entire project. Or that all residential units are for households that include at least one San Francisco Unified School District or City College employee with certain household income restrictions. Projects that use city property or city financing would continue to require Board of Supervisors approval. The Board of Supervisors could not amend city law to apply these streamlined approvals to additional types of housing projects. And in certain projects, contractors must use a skilled and trained workforce that includes workers who have graduated from apprenticeship programs. If you vote no, you do not want to make these changes. I'm here with Charlie Shamus with the Council of Community Housing Organizations and a proponent of Proposition E. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
We're also joined by Corey Smith from the Housing Action Coalition and an opponent of the measure.
Good morning.
Thank you both for being here. I would like to start with Charlie. Why do you believe this proposition is so important?
Proposition E, housing our families and workers, is an opportunity for San Francisco really to set on the right path to achieve the affordability we need to serve our local workforce and to house working families. All of us are touched by the affordability crisis, whether we're working families in the Sunset, in the Fillmore, Chinatown, Soma, Mission, Bayview, the Excelsior. We've all experienced that pressure. And that's happening because over the last number of years, San Francisco has far exceeded the production of high-end luxury housing. We've actually built more than 151% of our state mandated goals. But when it comes to affordable housing, we are far short. We've reached less than 50% of our affordable housing goals. And so too many San Franciscans are priced out. What does that mean? It means that the next generation coming up in the city can't imagine a future in their hometown. It means that many of our aging population on fixed incomes are trying to stretch those incomes to meet their housing needs. Our educators can't live in the same communities where they teach. Our first responders and essential workers are unable to live in the cities they serve. So many of our local workers are unable to find rents affordable based on the wages that they earn. So this proposition would accelerate our affordable housing production to keep our city diverse, to house our local workforce. It would help us achieve affordable housing balance to make housing more accessible to those who are currently priced out.
Thank you. Your thoughts on this, Corey?
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you, Shauna and the League, for hosting this event, and SFGovTV for being here. I just first want to say I disagree and do not think that San Francisco has built enough housing. I think we need more housing at all income levels for everybody who wants to be able to live here. And I think Proposition E, as in extra hearings, is the absolute wrong path forward compared to Proposition D, which we're supporters of the Affordable Homes Now measure. Now, some key things about Proposition E. It was put on the ballot by the San Francisco Board of Supervisors. Now, this is the exact same Board of Supervisors that rejected a project with 24% affordable housing with union labor on the Nordstrom's parking lot at 469 Stevenson. It is the same San Francisco Board of Supervisors that killed a 316 affordable by design project from being built on a church lot. And it's the same San Francisco Board of Supervisors that rejected the opportunity to acquire a hotel for homeless and supportive housing at 1800 Sutter Street. And so when you've got this series of events that happen, and you've got a Board of Supervisors that regularly rejects housing, why did they put this measure on the ballot? Well, the answer is quite simple. It's because pro-housing advocates and labor unions went out and collected signatures, worked with the people of San Francisco to put Proposition D, definitely going to be building housing, on the ballot. This was a response, and the intent is to confuse voters and sink both measures. Voters should reject Proposition E, no more extra hearings, and vote yes on Proposition D, definitely more housing.
Thank you. We're going to move into some questions, and the first question is going to go to you, Corey. So Proposition E aims to streamline the construction of affordable housing, but has some caveats that may actually impede construction, such as restrictions on project overview, the type of housing that can be built, and the qualification of construction workers. How do you envision that Proposition E will or will not actually result in the expedited construction of truly affordable housing?
Yeah, really good question. And when we look at these competing measures, and they really are side by side, based on the requirements there's absolutely no doubt that Proposition D, Affordable Homes Now, is going to result in more housing and more subsidized affordable housing. Affordable housing is what we need, and we need housing of all types here in San Francisco. And then one of the key pieces and the key differences between these two measures is the fact that the competing measure from the Board of Supervisors actually allows them to maintain the ability to have hearings and continue to reject 100% affordable housing projects that are code compliant. We're only talking about projects that follow all of the local rules, all of the guidelines. Those are not the projects that we need to be having unnecessary and endless hearings, which can also result in unnecessary lawsuits that end up making it take longer and increases the overall cost of construction by a really significant amount.
Thank you. Same question to you, Charlie. How do you feel that these caveats will impact the proposition, and how do you envision that it will actually result in the expedited construction of truly affordable housing?
Well, this Housing for Workers and Families initiative will accelerate not only the permitting of new housing, but also the actual development and construction of new housing. So we're talking about 3 different housing types: 100% affordable homes, educator and teacher housing, as well as mixed income, multi-generational family housing developments. And these developments would be required to provide at least 30% on-site affordable units, serving a range of incomes from low to moderate income. All of these new affordable units would be family-sized, at least 2 and 3 bedroom units, in order to serve intergenerational family households in San Francisco. And this would also be a boost to workers because it would follow prevailing wage guidelines and require skilled and trade provisions. San Francisco is a union town. This is in the spirit of that, really providing a pathway for more workers in order to participate in state-sponsored apprenticeship programs.
Thank you. That actually is a really good lead into my next question, which is that Proposition E, as you mentioned, requires a prevailing wage for construction workers on affordable housing projects and some level of professional training or qualifications for some workers. Can you please clarify how Proposition E will help protect workers and how those requirements will be enforced?
So Proposition E would basically provide an opportunity to grow our union workforce. It would provide a pathway for more workers to participate in state-sponsored apprenticeship programs and qualify as skilled and trained workers. Those prevailing wage provisions would encourage high-quality wages. This provision is actually endorsed by the San Francisco Building Trades Council, as well as the San Francisco Labor Council, that are also equally committed to supporting high-level worker protections. And in San Francisco, we have an affordable housing delivery system that has a high level of oversight, and this particular provision would provide greater oversight into the development of these projects in order to protect those worker rights.
Thank you. Same question to you, Corey.
Thank you. So the labor provisions are really one of the interesting pieces to this, looking at the two competing measures. And I am happy that the Board of Supervisors did recognize the skilled and trained requirement for 100% affordable housing and housing generally. It just doesn't make sense because the labor force is not there. I think of it as two circles. We've got one circle inside of a larger circle. We want the larger circle of union labor pools to be able to build the housing, and that's not going to be possible under the extra hearing Board of Supervisors measure. The other side to that is Proposition D, the Affordable Homes Now measure, requires prevailing wage, healthcare, and apprenticeship opportunities. And we think that that strikes the right balance of state-of-the-art, top-of-the-line labor protections, while at the same time making sure that we utilize that larger labor pool so people actually get out, can get to work, are making the money that is needed to actually live in the housing that they're building, which is really, really crucial. And that's one of the reasons we should be supporting Affordable Homes Now.
Thank you. Closing statements. Any more thoughts on Proposition E, Charlie?
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity. Housing for families and workers really prioritizes real affordability in order to close the affordability gap, in order to address the difference between developers or building and what San Franciscans actually need. It is supported by many people and organizations across the city. I mentioned the Building Trades Council, the San Francisco Labor Council, the Service Workers Union, HRE Local 2, the Teachers Union, United Educators, the Firefighters Union, the San Francisco Democratic Party, many community organizations, the San Francisco Anti-Displacement Coalition. If we want to keep families in San Francisco, we want to keep vulnerable residents in their homes, we also want to jumpstart economic growth. We urge you to support Proposition E for everyone. It will create the tools for San Francisco to follow through on its promise to deliver real affordable housing.
Thank you. Corey, your thoughts?
Yeah, San Francisco's got a really fascinating choice ahead of us with two competing measures that sound similar, but at the end of the day, there's really one key difference. Affordable Homes Now is going to result in more affordable housing in San Francisco. It's going to do that because it eliminates unnecessary hearings and eliminates the Board of Supervisors' ability to slow down or block housing projects, which they've done on numerous occasions, projects at 469 Stevenson, 450 O'Farrell, and 1800 Sutter Street, which was a supportive housing proposal. The fact that these hearings exist and lawsuits could still exist if the competing housing Board of Supervisors measure passes is the absolute wrong path forward. We do need more housing. We need more affordable housing across all of San Francisco. And that's why the Affordable Homes Now measure is being supported by Senator Scott Wiener, Mayor London Breed, the NorCal Carpenters Union, as well as Habitat for Humanity and Mission Housing Development Corporation. People that actually build affordable housing know that the Affordable Homes Now measure will result in more affordable housing in San Francisco. And if building more housing and more affordable housing is the goal, voters should vote yes on Affordable Homes Now, Proposition D, definitely going to build housing, and no on Proposition E, the competing measure from the Board of Supervisors. That's just going to be more extra hearings.
Okay, thank you. And thank you both for your time and your willingness to help inform the public on these measures.
Thank you for having us.
My pleasure. Thank you.
We hope that this discussion has been informative. For more information about this and other ballot measures in the November election, please visit the Department of Elections website at sfelections.org. Remember, early voting is available at City Hall starting on October 11th from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And if you don't vote early, be sure to vote on Tuesday, November 8th.